Okay, I have a crush on the Loch Ness Monster now, thanks to Lana Ferguson's book, Under Loch and Key. I was not expecting that, but this is what happens, I guess, when you start reading romantasy. I haven't read that many romantasy books, but I blame Mrs. Caliban for getting me like into this genre. If you haven't read that one, it's like about this frog monster on the run who falls in love with this like housewife in the 1950s. Super good. But ever since I read that book, like I've been kind of like dipping my toe into the romantasy genre, and now I have like kind of fallen in headfirst, and I can't stop reading all these like weird romantasy books. Anyway, so let's talk about this book. I won't give any spoilers away. Yeah, but let's talk about it a little bit. And I listened to the audiobook and absolutely loved it. Like the Scottish accents are really good. Like it had me totally locked in. So I definitely recommend that. And I will tell you more about that later. But this is a story about this American woman named Keyanna. Her dad is from Scotland and he just passed away. He wanted to like go back to Scotland in the end. And so she ends up like coming to spread his ashes in the loch near where he grew up, because he used to like tell her stories about the loch, because he said that he was like saved by the Loch Ness Monster or something like that. And so she is trying to kind of like reconnect. So she brings his ashes back, and she ends up like meeting all of her estranged family on her dad's side. And they're kind of like reluctant because there's a lot of like mystery of like why he left Scotland so suddenly. But there she meets this guy named Lachlan, and this is like a total enemies to lovers. And I think it was done very well. I was just obsessed with this guy from like the second he started speaking, because this narrator has like the most beautiful accent. Like, I absolutely loved it. Like, there's not enough narrators with like different accents out there, I swear. Like, the Scottish accent is just beautiful. It made the spicy scenes like very interesting to listen to, because this book is like extremely steamy. Yeah, thank you, Lana Ferguson, for making me interested in monster smut. Like, what the heck? Was not expecting that.
I'm calling the police!
I don't want to give too much of the story away, but you really have to like fantasy to like this. And I'm not like a huge fantasy person, but there's a whole lot of like monsters and magic and curses, witchcraft, all of that kind of stuff. And I was like super into the story until maybe like the halfway point, when like the fantasy got a little bit too much for me, honestly. So I would give like the first half of the book like 6 stars, and then the second half of the book, I don't know. For me, it was kind of like 3 stars. But I think, yeah, if you like these magical kind of stories, that you would be really into it. But the audiobook was like 12 hours long. I listened to this when I was like walking my dog, and it just kind of like felt a little bit too long. Like at the end, there are just like a lot of things that had to be like fixed, like to find solutions for in the book, to get like this happy ending. But I mean, I did enjoy it. I would definitely read like more books by her. But yeah, that's kind of how I felt about it. Let me know if you've read this. I'm curious what other people thought about it. And stick around for more book reviews. See you next time. But I started like spacing out when they were talking about like the curse. Where are we going here? What are you doing, Tishka? Do you have a message? You have a message for my subscribers? Okay, so Tishka here. Hee hee, come back.